What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom Laird here, host of the Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast and founder of Expivia. For exceptional contact center outsourcing, trust Expivia. We're fully AI-driven, as all of you know, and can handle voice, email, chat, and all of your digital channels. Our 600-seat USA contact center is expert in healthcare, financial services, insurance, tech support, retail, and more. Experts on the NICE CX1 platform, we ensure seamless customer experiences. DM me or visit expiviausa.com for more.
This is Advice from a Call Center Geek, a weekly podcast with a focus on all things call center. We'll cover it all from call center operations, hiring, culture, technology, and education. We're here to give you actionable items to improve the quality of yours and your customers' experience. This is an evolving industry with creative minds and ambitious people like this guy. Not only is his passion call center operations, but he's our host. He's the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing Group and the Call Center Geek himself, Tom Laird.
Welcome back, everybody, to Advice from a Call Center Geek, the call center podcast where we're going to try to give you some actionable items to take back to your contact center to improve your quality, hopefully improve the customer experience as well. My name is Tom Laird. I'm the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing Group. We are a call center outsourcer located here in again, beautiful Erie, Pennsylvania. We're going to continue down the road here with the last couple episodes where we've kind of been a little bit more technology-based and focused. And this is actually the topic that is probably the hottest in our industry right now. It's the one that I've been getting the most emails on to kind of ask if I could do an episode on to give you at least my take or my opinion on it. And that's the kind of the rush and the explosion of chatbots. The end of the call center industry because of these chatbots, right? That's what everybody's been saying, and that's what we're hearing every day. I want to give you kind of my thoughts on it. We've had a lot of experience using them. We have clients that are using them. We have our own personal one on our website, which we'll talk about here as well. But let me just, give you my quick overview, and then let's get into some of the different types of bots that are out there right now and what may be good for you, what may not be good for you, and see what maybe your customers would really like and improve the experience, and some of them that may not and would hurt the customer experience. So, what I believe where we are with these chatbots is kind of where we were with the IVR, 10, 15, 20 years ago, right? Everybody's, that was the kind of really the beginning of the self-service era. Everybody talked about that, the IVR is going to get rid of all the call center reps, and this is going to be such an amazing experience. And I'll tell you, for the most part, now there's a lot of issues with the IVR and a poorly drawn out IVR, but we all use them, right? It's helped. I get my account balance or make payments through the IVR all the time without talking to an agent at my bank. I'm all for them, especially when they're done properly. And it's the same thing again if you want to come a little bit closer to the time frame of now is where social media was, right? And it's a little different, but still people were discussing and talking about, do I really need a social media strategy? Do we really need to monitor all these channels? Do I need to use social media as not only a marketing tool, but also as a service, a service channel? And, again, when that's done right, I think it's really improved the customer experience. So right now, we as an industry are trying to figure these chatbots out. And, some are doing it pretty well. Some are rushing to judgment on them. I think there's a huge rush of judgment when it comes to, taking over the agents and taking over live agents in the call center industry. Especially when you've had the examples that Google's been taking out when they called the hairstylist and really sounded like a real human. And really when you kind of compartmentalize and think that through and what that could do on the service side, we're not even close to that yet, guys. So, the panic of that, I believe that, some of these, lower end, some of the things that you could do in the IVR, I think you should take out of the IVR and use a chatbot for. More people are using their cell phones now. Everyone is so comfortable with texting that I think you need some type of texting mechanism to reach a lot of your clients, especially, depending on what your clientele or what your demographics of your client are. So let's talk about, the three chatbots really that we focus on in the customer service world. And, the first one is basically a rule-based bot, right? And if you ever go on the expiviausa.com website, we have our bot on there. His name's Red. And that's a really cool thing that you can do with chatbots is you can give them your own company personality, right? So if you're young and hip, you can have your bot, male or female or whatever gender you're looking at, answer it in kind of the culture of your company, which is, a really cool thing that you could kind of do in the IVR, but I think it adds a little bit to it when you kind of see it as in a text setting. I'll tell you what, we have found that these rule-based bots can handle about 80% of the customer queries, that a customer may want. So while we are using ours just for a lead generation bot, and really it's kind of just these rule-based bots are basically virtual IVRs. So they're going to give you a menu. You're going to kind of click buttons to kind of take down a path to see what you want. There is a little bit of keyword recognition in ours, which we'll talk about here in a second. But for the most part, we're taking a customer down a journey to try to get them to an end goal that we like. Now, if you're using this for a service on the service side, there's a lot of really basic questions and queries that you could set up for this, and we've seen that to take away sometimes 15 to 20% of the volume that goes into the contact center. So just because 80% the bot understands 80% of kind of the queries that a customer's doing, I'm not still comfortable saying that we should have 80% of all these kind of interactions finalized in that kind of bot, because I think the experience can get a little wonky, and it can be a little bit frustrating and annoying to customers. So you have to really be careful with the use of that, making sure that you have an integration platform into your call center. So making sure that there's a very easy way to turn that into a live chat, and a lot of times your customers won't know that they're not live chatting, so that can be kind of frustrating as well. So in that case, making sure that it can kind of go to a live agent, so that you kind of smooth out that customer experience. All right, so the other two kind of bots are more AI infused, and AI is it's a scary word, or it's a word that people I think are kind of misusing at this point. But basically, it's a very data-centric bot, right? So it's going to be able to collect information. It's going to be able to learn from your profile. It's going to be able to understand the last couple times of why you called and have that data information and have a way to kind of spill that back out to you. So, if you ordered a pizza, as an example, with pepperoni and sausage, and you're calling back into, or you're texting into this, pizza chatbot, it's going to say, "Hey, Mr. Smith, how you doing? I hope your last pizza was great. Can I get you another one with pepperoni and sausage?" And all you have to do is click, "Yes, I have your credit card number as this. Is that good for you, Mr. Smith?" "Yes, it is." "Okay, fine. Your pizza is being delivered." Right? Really cool. But, it's basically a ton of API integrations. It's using analytics. It's using, these different kind of formats and platforms that we have now to collect data, source data, and then be able to give it back to the customer in a way that, it kind of does look like the machine is learning, because it really is, right? It's collecting all that data that you're giving it and giving it back out. So when we talk about the two, I guess, levels of AI, one is, a keyword-centric bot. So it's going to pick out the keywords that you type in. So let's use a bank or a financial services organization, and let's say they have a bot set up, and a customer texts it in and says, "Hey, Red or Bill or whoever the Mr. Bot is, can you please change my bill date to January 24th?" And the bot is going to look, and it's going to pick up those two kind of keywords, which are change bill date, right? And then you're going to see a kind of a question back to the customer. "So, Mr. Smith, you'd like to change your bill date?" And the customer's going to answer yes. And the bot's going to say, "Okay, I see that you have January," I forget what I said, January 21st or whatever, what was the date? Yes. And it's going to be able to change the bill date and give that kind of experience, which is pretty cool. The last piece of this is really the kind of the contextual bot, right? That you can kind of type out. It's learning and taking all your data in. So it's going to not only just understand what you've said from a keyword standpoint, but understand you've been here before, understand a lot of the things that you've done, prompt you to see if those are some of the things that you'd like to do again, and have a more of a conversational side to it than just the kind of the rule-based IVR kind of bot, and really even the keyword bot that kind of every time, while it's not a new experience because it does have data on you, you're kind of prompting it for a lot of that information. So, there's a lot of pluses and minuses to all of this. The three key things that I will tell you when you're kind of choosing it are, understand your customers first. Understand if what type of questions they're asking. If there's some really high-end, in-depth questions, I don't think we're there from a technology standpoint yet. But the second one is, I think you need a texting mechanism, especially with our customers of today and everybody using their cell phone and everybody texting, to have that quick platform that they can get those type of questions answered or those type of service issues done, I think is really important. And third, just, really understand some of the things that these bots can do, right? So, simple questions, looking to book time and schedule time, buy a product. They can do a lot of that type of thing. They can, again, change. My mind gets caught a lot in the financial services world because that's where we've done a lot of these. Change your bill date. What's my account balance? Can I make a payment? Can you transfer money? Those types of things are really cool. We are not at the point yet where you can have a full-blown conversation with over multiple mediums, having a ton of different questions about your account or about different products with that bot. It's going to get it confused. So, we're seeing too that, the chatbot companies are starting to kind of figure that out a little bit. And it's always getting smarter, and we're branching out to more, I don't want to say channels, but more, questions inquiries that a customer can ask. So it's not just, account based, but also, looking for upsells and cross sells and different pieces of the customer pie that, is not just focused on the actual reason that they call, but really looking at analytics, looking at what are some of the really good products that this customer would want, using API integrations to then pull all that data in and try to upsell and cross sell too. So, we're moving along with it. I think that, it's a really cool technology. Don't panic if you're not sure, if we hear so many of our clients like, hey, am I too late to the game? Do I have to do this? What are the best methods for it? So it's a really hot topic, but it's one that you have to really, kind of do your homework with and really understand your customers, understand the things that they really want to answer. What we do here at Expivia is, and I think, a lot of companies should kind of look to do this, is, before we'll take somebody down a chatbot road, or, start to, we don't actually physically do the chatbots. We have, a lot of partners that do the chatbot work, and we kind of are the project manager for that, and then we integrate it into our platform from our telephony side, and it's super cool. But, making sure that we know the keyword. So we're going to do some analytics on all of our customers that are looking to do chatbots for a couple weeks before we even go down the road. And everybody thinks they know what their customers want, and everybody thinks, through dispositions or just by, just the monitoring of calls that you understand what your customers want. Well, we're going to dig in and really find real analytic keyword data of what percentage of your customers and what are asking for what are the top 5 queries that your customers ask for. And it's not just kind of asking a rep, what are you hearing? But, we're going to actually give, and I would think everybody should do this, give real hard data on what those are, because that technology is out here right now. And out of those, that's when we're going to build our bot. And we're going to figure out what's the kind of the easiest, top 3, top 4, and then maybe move to a couple more if we can. But you basically pay for use cases, right? So if you want like a customer service bot that's going to handle a couple things, that's one price in one bot. If you want another one to do some lead generation, it's very difficult to integrate them into one. That's going to be a different bot. And we're looking at prices now, anywhere from, to do a rule-based bot, you can do it for $10,000 to $15,000, upwards of hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how integrated you want this to be, and really guys, it's just like an IVR, right? I mean, you can do a pretty cheap IVR for maybe, probably $25,000 now. You pay for a, per usage. So maybe it's 25 cents, maybe it's 10 cents per minute, depending on the deal that you work out. Same kind of thing here, right? So you're going to pay an upfront charge of the programming, whoever you use, and they're going to kind of do your tree and your rule-based tree and kind of work those things through with you to see what type of journey you want to take the customer on. And then you're going to pay for a per usage by each of the, the queries done in it. And that can range from anywhere from, 25 cents to 75 cents per query. I haven't seen too many that are doing it by the minute. It's more, per usage per customer. So it still saves you a ton of money, just like the IVR, right? And I think it's a better experience than the IVR. So instead of paying your $6 to $7 probably per call, which is about average, you're going to, go down to 75 cents. And your ROI, just increases over the time period that the bots use. So I think it is a pretty cool tool when used properly. But again, don't panic. Don't think that you have to rush to judgment. Don't think that you have to go out and spend a $200,000 for a chatbot that's going to reinvent your service model, because I think you're making a big mistake yet. I think it's coming, right? It's a 5 to 10 year thing away to where we're going to see these a little bit more, but I still don't see the extinction of the call center, especially when it comes to the high-end USA contact centers. So some of those, maybe the lower end, the offshore model is going to take a hit. The nearshore model might take a little hit, but for some of the real difficult clients that really need that high-end customer service, they're never going to give their full portfolio of customers to chatbots or to AI. At least I don't think in my life. I may be wrong, but I think that there's still something to say, and I think you're going to see people start as the chatbots take off. You're going to see people marketing that we only use, human agents, which is crazy to say. But I think it's going to be a, looking into my crystal ball, I think that's going to be a marketing ploy to really help people use it, because everybody's going to start to move to these chatbots probably before they're ready to fully take the type of volume that's needed. And we're going to see some of that. So I don't know. Interesting world though, right? I mean, the technology is pretty crazy. And the things that people are looking to do with it is pretty crazy and pretty cool. So, we're not sticking our head in the sand and saying chatbots aren't for real, because I think they are. I think the speed that they're coming to us is a little bit slower than people are thinking. But nonetheless, I mean, you got to be in the game. I mean, if you're in the service industry, you have to learn about them. You have to, evolve your thought process to think that, there's going to be a place for these. And it can be a really cool tool that I think can also save a lot of money and increase the customer experience when it's done right, just like when the IVR is done right. So that's my take. That's my my chatbot, a little bit of a rant. But I think, that's kind of where I see the industry going. I see, where we are right now. I know a lot of people disagree with that. I get a lot of pushback when I kind of say that the end of the call center has been yelled at too much. But I think that we're going to still be here, especially for the high-end quality stuff that we're doing, and a lot of the other call centers and BPO call centers are doing as well. So again, guys, I just want to, again, give my cheap plug like I do every single week for Advice from a Call Center Geek book. I'm actually huge in Japan. Can you believe that? Like I've sold the last 2 months more books in Japan than I've sold in the United States. I have no idea why. I just think that's pretty cool, and that's crazy with the technology that we have today that Amazon can even do that. Also, please look at our social media assets, Advice from a Call Center Geek, our Twitter account, our Facebook page. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything answered that's been starting to get used now, which is pretty cool. And also, if you can please post a review on Spotify, but especially on iTunes. I would really appreciate it. It'll help us get the word out. So, again, thank you very much for listening to this episode, and we'll talk to you guys again next week.
This has been advice from a call center geek. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to the show so you're the first to hear next week's episode. Jam-packed with actionable takeaways you can implement ASAP. Chime in with your thoughts on the episode on Twitter @from_geek and on Instagram @call_center_geek. Also, take a look at our contact center operations book by the same name, Advice from a Call Center Geek on Amazon. This podcast is sponsored by ExpiviaUSA.com.